Hello. The makeup assignment I am completing here is 9.1C Participation 12-1. My name is Sam Whistler, and the current event I will be discussing here is titled, Who are the Uyghurs and why is China being accused of genocide? The PRC, or People's Republic of China, is a very oppressive and communist government that takes extensive measures to keep control over their population and go through great lengths to hide what they are truly doing. There is a religious group in the northwestern part of China, in the area called Xinjiang, and the group is called the Uyghurs, who are still and will continue to face intensive persecution by the government because the PRC, or People's Republic of China, is trying to get rid of these people and their faith. And their reasoning to do this, as they say, is to try and root out and protect against terrorism. The Chinese government has been accused of genocide and crimes against humanity. There are reports of them attempting to sterilize the women in order to reduce the population of the Uyghurs, and also putting them in camps where they face physical, mental, and sexual torture, and force them to pick cotton fields. China has been declining all of these claims and saying that they are taking effective measures to root out terrorism and extremists who are waging a violent campaign for an independent state, free of Chinese persecution. There are religious differences between almost every group around the world, with some being able to experience more advantages than others. What is happening in China is similar to a study done in the US, but in a very different manner. In the US, there was a study to see if certain groups did in fact have higher levels of education and income, among other statistics. It showed how some religious groups experience benefits due solely to what religion they are a part of. China has been persecuting the Uyghurs because they do not like that religious group and would like it eradicated, but there is no real reason as to why. They have a significantly lower socioeconomic status than other groups, and that is mainly due solely to the fact that they are Uyghurs. This ties into the conflict theory that society is like a sports competition. Everyone is trying to get ahead. The PRC is trying to dominate this group in order to suppress it almost to the point of extinction, because they are not following in line and cooperating with the government. They cannot practice their religion or express any freedoms of the sort due to the camps they are being put in. The government has taken down all signs of the Uyghur cultural symbols that they hold dear in further attempts to suppress them. Taking into account family background traits, as in their parents' education and all that, can help to understand a little more of why the Uyghurs are having such a hard time freeing themselves. If the parents have no education to pass on to their children because they're being so oppressed and restricted in camps, then the children won't be able to learn how to stand up and fight back. The PRC is treating these people horribly because of their religious and cultural practices, with no real concrete reason as to why. Anti-Han and separatists sentiment rose in Xinjiang, the region where the Uyghurs are, from the 1990s, sometimes flaring into violence. In 2009, about 200 people died in clashes in Xinjiang, which the Chinese blamed on Uyghurs who wanted their own state. But in recent years, a massive security crackdown has crushed dissent. Xinjiang is now covered by a pervasive network of surveillance, including police, checkpoints, and cameras that can scan everything from number plates to individual faces. According to Human Rights Watch, police are also using a mobile app to monitor people's behavior, such as how much electricity they are using and how often they use their front door. Since 2017, when President Xi Jinping issued an order saying all religions in China should be Chinese in orientation, there have been further crackdowns. Campaigners say China is trying to eradicate Uyghur culture. The Xinjiang police files, which all date from before 2019, shed further light on Uyghurs being punished for alleged crimes that took place years ago. Many appear to have been targeted for their mobile phone use, for listening to illegal lectures, or not using their phones enough, which is regarded as a sign as the user trying to evade digital surveillance. However, China does in fact deny all allegations of human rights abuse in Xinjiang. In response to the Xinjiang police files, China's foreign ministry spokesman told the BBC that the documents were, quote, the latest example of anti-China voices trying to smear China, end quote. He said Xinjiang enjoyed stability and prosperity, and residents were in fact living happy, fulfilled lives. China says the crackdown in Xinjiang is necessary to prevent terrorism and root out Islamic extremists, and the camps are an effective tool to re-educate inmates in its fight against terrorism. It insists that Uyghur militants are waging a violent campaign for an independent state by plotting bombings, sabotage, and civic unrest. But it is accused of exaggerating the threat in order to justify repression of the Uyghurs. China has dismissed claims it is trying to reduce the Uyghur population through mass sterilization as baseless, and says allegations of forced labor are completely fabricated. China continues to deny all allegations against the persecution of the Uyghur culture, but they continue to mistreat this population, all because of their religion and culture.